I have a story that I came across this morning. Horrific story about a woman who was seriously injured in an attack by another woman using boiling water as the weapon. Horrific attack. Now, before I get to it, just to set the scene, you might be wondering, who's this guy? Doesn't look like a woman to me. What's he got to do with anything? Well, for anyone that's followed this channel or Irish news in general when it comes to foreign crime, this specimen, Romanian national Beniamin Petre, aged 50, of no fixed abode. The last time we saw of him or heard from him was back in August. Although we'd seen from him before. This is a man who was happy to walk the streets, making horrific threats of the things that he would do to Irish women and children and babies and places of worship if he had his way. He was locked up, and when he was in prison, and you'll just bear with me, you'll see where I'm going with this. This came to my mind today. I thought, I can remember an attack like this before with the boiling water. There it is. Threat video. Now, this is from August. Threat video man used kettle of boiling water to scald cellmate in a Dublin jail. Romanian national Beniamin Petre, 50, of no fixed address, appeared before Judge Peter White at Dublin District Court, was released on conditional bail. He carried out an attack on another person in a prison. And after he committed that attack, he was released on bail. Pending directions from the Director of Public Prosecution. Now, this will all tie together. Okay. A former waiter, previously targeted after posting social media threats, has been charged with using a kettle of boiling water to scald an inmate who suffered severe burns in Clover Hill Prison. This is a man that was in Ireland for a very, very long time. For most of that time was completely inactive economically, contributed zero to society, except for making horrific threats to injure people. Did manage to find himself a job for a time as a waiter. This man for a time was serving the public. But in his head, what was going on? What thoughts were occupying that dark head of his? Well, he told us because he made videos of it. What was that man capable of doing? Well, when he was in prison, we're reading about it. Wanted to inflict serious injury on another inmate in Clover Hill Prison, objecting to bail. Due to the seriousness of the case and flight risk concerns, she told the court the prosecution's case, Mr. Petre had assaulted the man and was caught red-handed. Well, he got bail anyway. So that leads us on to this story, which is interesting in that it's another boiling water attack by another migrant / asylum seeker who has a job in healthcare worker with serious mental issues and a propensity to carry out an attack such as this. Like Petre, albeit he's a man from Romania, this is a woman from Somalia. And we're being told that we need workers to come in and we need people to prop up the health service and the hospitality service. That may well be the case, but that's because of the decline in Ireland and the managed destruction through the government. So many people are leaving and so many people are underpaid to do the jobs that nobody else will do, that they're having to import labor. And we're being told that all along the way that everybody's vetted, nobody gets in unvetted. We also know, if you've watched any of the videos from the last week or two, that's complete and utter trash. coming from An Garda Síochána. No one gets in without being fingerprinted, vetted, and checked. That's garbage. This is the latest. Shocking fight. Woman scalded with kettle and left with peeling skin after a fight in a hostel kitchen. In Dublin, Ilham Hassan, aged 25, attacked the other woman in retaliation after she was pushed and splashed with hot water. Pushed and splashed. Someone bumped into her and splashed her with water. How does she react? With a kettle. The kettle. As you do, you know, that's just the normal reaction, isn't it? She maintained the other woman was bullying her, but accepted she reacted unjustifiably. Well, it's always nice when someone's repentant. Pity they didn't think about it before they carried out their heinous attack. Always on reflection afterwards when they're appearing in court faced with lengthy prison sentences, or are they? Do they start to think about apologies? Judge Michelle Finnan adjourned the case for a probation report. Ms. Hassan, a healthcare worker working in healthcare. Dealing with who exactly? Maybe in a care home, maybe with vulnerable adults, maybe in a hospital setting. Dealing with people who are sick or in need of help and assistance with a hair trigger for violence on a horrific scale. Healthcare worker with an address at Amiens Street, Dublin 1, pleaded guilty to affray. Dublin District Court heard the incident took place at a hostel last December. Gardaí were called. It was reported there was an altercation. The other woman had a bad burn injury, her neck, arm, and chest. Her skin was peeling off. Lovely. This is the healthcare worker that carried out the attack, by the way, not that was attacked. The healthcare worker did this. Ms. Hassan also sustained burns to her neck and chest, but not to the same extent, and she had a slash wound to one arm. The court heard she had been in a communal kitchen holding a kettle of boiling water, and the other woman pushed her, causing it to splash. She then retaliated by throwing water over the other woman. The woman then picked up a knife and then allegedly slashed Hassan, and the fight was broken up by staff. They're as bad as each other, and they're both still here. Hassan, who fled Somalia, had been suffering very bad trauma at the time of the incident, said her solicitor. So what? So, is that an excuse? What happens if she goes into work suffering from very bad trauma? She meets a patient, if she's dealing with the elderly, maybe with Alzheimer's, and they nudge into her, make her spill her tea. What's she going to do? Dealing with children, maybe dealing with the sick, has a bad day. She's in healthcare. When she came to Ireland, she was staying in a hostel and had issues with a woman there who was bullying her, allegedly. She was making her dinner in the kitchen. There were people present, but the atmosphere changed when this woman came in. The atmosphere does tend to change when certain people enter the room or enter the environment, don't you think? We can all relate to that. When she was pushed and got splashed, she reacted stupidly. Like I said, translate that into her healthcare setting. What happens if a patient or a child or someone who's ill bumps her and spills her tea? She wrote a letter of apologies. No assault charge was brought. The other woman was the co-accused in the case. I mean, what do you have to do these days to get an assault charge against you? What do you have to do? The defense solicitor asked the judge for leniency, saying a conviction would prevent her from working. Get her the hell out of Ireland. How's that? The judge remanded Ms. Hassan on continuing bail to appear in court again next March. So this woman is back out, have asked for leniency, could well be back in a job working with the public or vulnerable people, and won't see the court again until at least next March. What's that? 5 months, 6 months from now? And when she does go to court, depending on what her sentence is, what happens next? Themes, people, themes. Threat video: man used kettle of boiling water to scald inmate. Woman scalded with kettle and left with peeling skin. Strange, isn't it? Almost identical. Almost identical. But hey, what do I know? I'm just trying to let you know what's happening out there as it's being reported in some small ways by some sources, buried so people don't get to see it. So let me know what your thoughts and comments are below. Cut and paste this video, share the link if you feel like it. If you don't, I'm going to fall out with you about it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. If you don't, no problem. Hakuna Matata. As long as you watch, you comment, and you share, we're good. So for now, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.